So let's look at the first example. So we are looking at the rule book, which is again similar to defining a name. So in this case, we are listening for any events on the webhook. The key thing is the source, where we have defined the webhook module from Ansible EDA collection. That webhook is listening on port 5000. Now we have to define the rules which matches the condition. In this case, the payload message, if Ansible is super cool, is matched, it will execute a playbook or an action as a result of that match, which is the playbook which prints out the message from that event. So similar to Ansible playbooks, this playbook has a name, the host on which it should run, and any task that we can define. In this case is printing messages on the event sender name, if not defaulting it to my friend. So let's look at how it works in action. So in this particular case, we will execute that rule book. So the example that we saw earlier, we are running that webhook example.yaml, and we are printing the events whichever it is capturing. So let's try and simulate some events. So this is the first event that we have simulated on the webhook. But in this case, if you see, we have not passed the right event. So this webhook at the endpoint should receive that event, but event-driven Ansible should not take any action. Since this event is not matched with the playbook rules that we had, it will not work. Now let's try and simulate the real message, which is the expected one in our conditions, which is Ansible is super cool. Once we are passing it to that particular endpoint of the webhook, so you will see that rule book, which is continuously listening, is receiving that event, and based on that event, the source of that, as you will see, is event eda.webhook. And since it has picked up the payload messages which is matching with the condition, it has executed the play called say thanks. And this concludes our example 1.